Feeling myself, but I stay in my lane. I know you thinking you nice, but you sounding the same. He need to switch up his flow, but I know that he ain't. Maybe he won't to, and probably can't. He talk a lot, but ain't saying a word. He's 16, sounding like he be lacing his herbs. Reggie Rock told me time to just focus and spit. Quit worrying about the niggas abandoning shit. I dropped broken and they told me quit biting your tongue. The way you writing sounded like you forgot where you from. Say you from the hood, but you sound like a minister now. Yeah, I could take it there, but shit, I just like how this sound. I should address some of this drama, but letting it go. Shit, I can't keep playing with you niggas, I'm getting too old. The last words Bone told me I never forget. Quit playing with this music and do it to death. Shit, I came back.
You're now watching the End of the Bench podcast, Build and Destroy, hosted by your man, H-Rap B.
Thank you for tuning in. It's your man H-Rap B coming at you live and direct. This is Build and Destroy. This is Build and Destroy. This is End of the Bench Media. I am your host. Thank you for tuning in. I want to, as I do every week, I want to send a salute to my parents. Without John and Dolores, there is no Build and Destroy. Especially Dolores, she inspired me before she transcends into the ancestral realm to do this. Thank you. As I do every week, I want to thank the people in the chat room. That is Wanga, my brother, and my main man, Jungle Brother. Thank you for tuning in. If you are tuning in, no matter where you are, if you are on, I'm actually on a new platform. It's called Fanbase, owned by Isaac Hayes III. Fanbase, Isaac Hayes III. Yes, Shafts Isaac Hayes. That's the one. I'm on Fanbase Live, broadcasting there. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook, and I'm also on YouTube, Facebook, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend to tune in. If you got a link, share it with your people. This episode is going to be interesting. I am going to, the people in the Facebook group, hit that thumbs up. I can't see your name, but sup H-Rap, and good evening, blessings. Thank you, whoever it is. It's a pleasure to have you here. Hit that like, hit that thumbs up. It is important. Please, I'm letting you know. That is just not me saying something. It is important that you hit that thumbs up. It allows me to help you, help me. Thank ya. With that being said, this evening, I'm speaking directly to my native Chicagoans, but this is a mission or a message that is universal. Apply this to your community. But the thing that had me up for the last 3 nights, just couldn't really sleep. You know, I put a lot of work into this episode. I put a lot of work in every show. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna lie to you. A lot of this stuff is just coming from just weekly news, and then I just give you my point of view on it, and then I move forward, and hopefully it is beneficial. But this time I put a ton of work into this. Because I see a lot of my brothers and sisters here in Chicago. And again, don't make this a Chicago-centric thing. It says soul brothers and sisters in Chicago. Let's say Chicago. But this is a universal fact. This is a universal fact. This is not just Chicago-centric, even though I'm speaking to my brothers and sisters here. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because for at least 6 decades. I'm 6 decades into this. I'm 2 centuries into this. I'm 53 years old. This means I've been watching this for a long time. And we have this civil war going on in my city. There is a civil war going on in the city of Chicago. Most people who are outside of Chicago, you're thinking about violence. Please, let me tell you something. Chicago is way less violent than it was in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. Know that. If you don't believe me, understand You just listening to the propagandized news that make that the same news that tells you that Chicago is about to blow things up and it's crazy and it's Chirac. Those same people that told you couldn't read, told you don't want no jobs, that told you your kids are insane, and they tell you all this other propagandized madness, and you go along with it, but you rebuke it until it benefits your conversation. We're gonna end that tonight. Chicago has always been a situation to whereas it's relatively dangerous. Don't get me wrong. We talking about, look, the drive-by shooting is one of the homes of the drive-by shooting. And the drive-by shooting was not invented by the Crips and the Bloods. The drive-by shooting was not invented by the Crips and the Bloods. It was not invented by the gangsters and the vice lords or the Blackstones and the gangsters or whatever you want, whatever a gang, street organization affiliation you associate with urban America, whether it be in Baltimore, Los Angeles, Chicago, or in the rural South. We didn't invent it. That was invented by rich, organized criminals called themselves the mafioso and Irish mobs and the Jewish mobs. Those are the people who invented that because they were driving past killing people. Understand that. So we don't have a patent on violence and illicit behavior. Let's clear that up. Now, the reason I'm doing this show tonight is I want to thank everybody who tuned in. I'm not going to say your name this evening, SWA Radio, #1 Chief Rocker. I'm not going to say everybody because I do have a mission tonight. And if you don't want the mission, I'm sorry, toes may be stepped on. And I just want people to, it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just I need to say this. Now, this evening, let me get to business. We are suffering in my city of Chicago, Illinois, one of the greatest cities in the United States of America, city founded by a brown man, much like myself. I said that brown thing intentionally. I said the brown thing intentionally. We are not black. We need to separate. We need to stop identifying ourselves with a color. Nope, the Asian man does not call himself yellow. The Caucasian man, while he's in Europe, he does not call himself white. We are not a color. This is not a crayon box. This is not a game that we're playing. But we've allowed people to divide us. We've allowed people to divide us by color, region of country, city, state. And it's ironic that we continue to buy into it and we think it's just for fun and we think it's just because, but then you have the Negro bourgeoisie who says, I'm better than you because I'm closer to this mythical color white because I have education and I have finances. So I'm better than those. Again, separating ourselves. Let's talk. That's divide and conquer. And then you got people who live on the top portion of the country. We're better than the people in the South because those people are down there dealing with that same slavery mentality. Meanwhile, those people down there owning land and opening businesses, and we up here working for people. Help me understand. These are the things we must get away from, this divide and conquer mentality. This divide and conquer, your mentality. I said that correctly. We must end that. How do we end it? See, it's easy to say what we need to do. It's easy to say this is what has to be done. But in order to fix something, you must find out what happened. If your car isn't driving as fast as it used to, you're gonna check the motor, you're gonna check the trans, because that's the powertrain. That's where all the power comes from. So if the motor is solid and the transmission is not, we fix the transmission. You don't just say, hey, we got to get a new car. You have to repair what's wrong. What's wrong with our community? We suffer from a lack of unity. We suffer from a lack of unity. Why do we suffer from a lack of unity? Because one of the reasons, here's a major reason, we identify with America and not our culture. We're the only community in this country that identifies with America versus their culture. Why do we do that? Because the people who captured a lot of us, and I'm not going to split hairs. I mean, there was people over here because it's always that one joker that's in the chat room or watching this going, we were here first. Let's stick to the topic and then you can do a deep dive on your own. But the people who captured a lot of our ancestors and brought them here, and the people who were already here and who were enslaved in addition to their normal roots being here, they were separated. They were separated. They had people from Sierra Leone. They had people from the Congo. They had people from what is known, it's called the Gold Coast then, it's called Ghana now, Nigeria, and a whole host of other West African countries. They mixed them in because, much like our European brothers and sisters, you might have Greek people who look like they could be Italian. You might have Polish people who look like they could be French. You might have Germans that look like they could be Poland and so forth, Polish and so forth, English that look like they're Scottish. But as for people from our diaspora, they're all white. But I want you to understand, everybody on that continent does not see themselves as the same just because they look alike. Just like when you have a Chinese man and a Japanese man and a Korean person, they may look alike to us, but they see the differences. Our brothers and sisters, our ancestors from the continent, see them the same way. So when you get fed that nonsense, oh man, we sold ourselves into this. No, they sold neighboring countries. That's what they did. Now, and then they mixed them together. And when they mixed them together, you had a person next to you that spoke one tribal language, and you had a person next to you that spoke another tribal language. You know how they did that? So they can always stay apart. So they can always be apart. So you can never have to fight against the uniting of these people, these millions of people, against these hundreds of soldiers. So when you have people making statements like my man Math Hoffa, nothing negative to say about my man Math Hoffa, but when Math Hoffa say slavery is a choice, because it's not like the people who captured our ancestors said, hey, it's 800-900 of y'all, and it's only like 25 of us. Y'all should get us. You're in a foreign land, in a foreign situation around foreigners. You're not really thinking unite. Now, some of our ancestors did. And some of those people are known as pirates. See, when you think of pirate ship, you think of white men riding around on boats and stealing. No, some of those people were our ancestors that said, give us this boat. We ain't on that. We got to get back. See, we toured this world freely before this 5-minute indentured slavery portion of our history. Again, I mentioned this last week. Think of the time of the world as a clock. Shout out to Dr. Greg Carr. As a clock. You got 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, so forth and so on. And then you go back around for the evening, the PM, right? I want you to look at the time that we've been captured here in America. And I want you to see that as about 3 minutes of a 24-hour day. That's how we have been here. We've been on this planet over 250,000 years, and we've been captured and captured on North America less than 500 years. So you're talking about 3 to 5, maybe not even 3 minutes, maybe even like a minute and a half out of 250,000 years. 500 is nothing. Think about it in money terms. If you had $5 versus 250,000, you wouldn't even know that $5 was gone. So now that you understand why we're in this situation, they had to divide us. They separated us from our language. They separated us from, why is this important? It's important because the other people will look at this community and they get along well. You know how that community gets along well? Let's just take our Mexican brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters in Mexico, they identify as Mexican first because that's their roots. Now you have Chicanos, and that means that I was born here and then I moved here, and you got other different breeds of fractions of Mexican culture, but they all represent Mexico. So let's look at us. How does this tie in Chicago? Give me a second. I'm gonna walk you through it. This ties into the Black community first and foremost. Is we must create a baseline. We must create a baseline. And when we create that baseline, then we can create a foundation, and then we can build upon that foundation. Now, that divide and conquer thing lives and breathes here in my city of Chicago. We do it instead of saying Sierra Leone and the Congo. We do it like this: the West Side and the South Side. Why we do it, I don't know. But I do know. Because we're continuously trying to get towards white. Yeah, we consistently try to get towards white. Why? Because we even take on a color instead of our culture. At one point, we used to call each other soul brother, soul sister. Nah, that's an old term. But if you think about it, seeing how we were the first people here, It means we're closer to God, and man became a living soul. That's what the word says, right? We soul brothers and soul sisters. Now, fast forward thousands of years later to Chicago, Illinois. You allow somebody to identify you as a color, and a color is a possession. That's why you get Negro, you get Black, you get Nigger. These are possessions. That means you're not a human. You're dehumanized when you take on that color. Because cars, and shirts, shoes, and socks, and article and televisions and things, those are colored. We're not colored. We're not even black. We're closer to brown. When you see this Denzel Washington movie called Call Freedom, and it's about Steve Biko. They even consistently tell you this in movies. They show you the truth because the Lord make it so. The truth got to be told. The truth is God. So the truth will be told, but you got to be paying attention. Steve Biko sitting on a chair, and the judge asked Steve Biko while he's on trial for trying to destroy apartheid in South Africa, why do you people call yourself black? Y'all not black. You're closer to brown. Denzel Washington turns to the judge and said, why do you people call yourselves white? Y'all closer to pink. I'll explain that. Because if you're going to capture someone and erase their history and denigrate them and make them feel less than, you must, this goes into this thing. It's a psychological term called mind buds. And then it will culturally impose perception. That's what a mind bud is, a culturally imposed perception of yourself. And then guess what? If I want to culturally impose a perception of you upon you, I'm going to call you something and then you're going to adapt it. You know, like that one word, that nigga word, right? Because we have literally tried to take a negative and turn it into a positive. That's like put on some skates, getting behind an elephant and trying to push it uphill. You can't make, like, are we going to try to make idiot a good thing too? Or fool a good thing too? Or dummy a good thing too? That's the equivalent of it. But we separate because we calling it. So now they call you black. And then what do they associate with black? Black magic, negativity, less than. Is it? No. But it was never bad until they put it on us. So you got black magic. You're being blackballed. You're the black sheep of the family. Black, negative. And then they assign white to themselves because white is pure, angelic, closer to God. So they immediately put themselves up here and they put you on the ground. And we bought into it. And that's why you get this foolish South Side versus the West Side thing here in Chicago, Illinois. And then all throughout the country. Because then I'm from the South Side, I'm better than the West Side cats. And then the West Side, we better than those Bamas and those Southern people. And they continue to put divides between us. And that is a crazy thing to buy into. Negative black magic. And the closer to first, now I'm an educated black. Because see, Dr. King came to town and he made it possible so we could move on the South Side. And I was the first one. I used to help my buddy Marquise. Shout out to Marquise Chapman. I was helping him build his business years ago. And we used to transport the elderly and they're to a man or a woman. You know, I was the first black person living in this neighborhood on the South Side of Chicago. And I don't have an issue with South Side people because I got friends on the South Side, North Side. I have had the privilege of living on the South Side, 72nd Street, 35th Street. I was born on the West Side. And I was raised on the North Side. As far north as I could look into another town, as far south as I could look into Indiana. And I've lived on the West Side and my mother lived in the West suburbs. So I've lived throughout the entire 606 and beyond. So what I want you to understand is we got to stop dividing ourselves because we allowed them to put us in these trick bags that we can't escape because we keep trying to make it comfortable in a horrible situation. Because I'm better than, because I'm closer to white and I'm closer to angelic. But you're already close to God because he put you here first. And once you embrace that, you know, we could throw in these nomenclatures like, we're descendants of kings. We're descendants of queens. And then all you have to do to destroy that is go, which one? Queen Latifah, Dr. King, Rodney King, Queen Mother Rage, Queens of Comedy. Oh yeah, are you being silly, rap? Yeah, I am. But which one of the kings you related to? Then you're gonna go back to Africa. Again, there go that baseline. There go that baseline. The kings and queens of Africa. We relate. Oh, so you are African. Then it's the person that's somewhere that's gonna watch this and they're gonna say, but man, Africans don't even like us. It's over 1 billion people on that continent. It's the largest land mass on earth. You can pick up Africa and place it on top of Asia, place it on top of South America and North America, and it'll cover it. That's how big Africa is. You can put it over Europe and Asia, and it'll cover it. So you mean to tell me you've talked to everybody in every 54 countries, you've talked to all of them, and they all said, I don't like black people. That's just like saying, I've talked to everybody in the state of Illinois, they all do. All the black people like each other. Nope, they don't. Is this some thrown off, delusional brothers and sisters on the continent? Of course it is, because they have suffered the same consequences we have. Because guess what? Man, they used to sell us to each other and they left us over there. But guess what? When they stopped doing that, they got colonized. Same issues. We have to remove ourselves from these situations. We have to create a baseline again. So now once you get that African baseline, I ain't African, man. Yes, you are. Whether you want to admit it or not, guess what? You are. You are. You don't have no way of escaping it. You know, you like my man Stokely Carmichael, aka Kwame Ture, otherwise known as Stokely Carmichael. You listen to this song by Dr. KRS-One. Dr. Carmichael says, no matter how hard you try to get away from Africa, Mother Africa slaps you in the face. You have to straighten out your hair. I got it permanent. Actually, it's a temporary because in 4 weeks that new growth coming and it's gonna nap up. I'm gonna get a nose job, and then some goes on to that nose, and then you back to the nose. I'm gonna get some lips, and then you turn around and everybody trying to get your nose, lips, and butt, but you're escaping from it because you're trying to slim down. You're trying to be real thin, but you're primarily muscle because God gave you the most creative body on the earth. Therefore, you can't escape it. Sorry, sisters trying to lose all this weight. God made you thick in the thighs. I'm sorry, and it's beautiful. Can't help it. You can't get dark. You can get lighter, but you're gonna look 30% red. You're gonna look bad. But these are the things I want you to understand. We got to, if we're gonna accept these nomenclatures about I'm a king, I'm a queen. Well, you got to take that lineage back, and then you're gonna be back on the continent, which is a good thing. And man, I'm better than the West Side people. I'm better than the South Side people because I'm educated. I ain't like those people on the West Side. They wild. Okay, how's that working out for you? See, we have sat around and allowed them to divide us. Why would we do that? Because we want to be accepted. We really do. And I'm not even mad for one. Who doesn't want to be accepted? Who don't want that pressure? You don't want that pressure. Because see, you want to identify with who you are. See, when you identify with your culture, let's keep it in Chicago. Most of us are here in Chicago. My family. I ain't got to leave my dad's house. My father, my grandfather, George Stanley Williams Sr. I don't have to leave his house because George Williams came from Tuskegee, came to Chicago, and built the crib, brought my grandmother up, brought his children up here, started raising a family. That's how it was. But guess what? So that means George Stanley Williams, Manny Mae Williams, who was originally Manny Mae Liggett, she was they from Tuskegee. That means I'm from Tuskegee. And then we don't man, them Bama's down there. We don't really want, they down there tripping. They country. But guess what? It's land in my name in Tuskegee, Alabama right now. I don't own no land, but it's a land down there. There's a house on that land that belongs to Pamela Williams, Michael Williams, Brian Williams, John Williams, Roy, Salah Mustafa Uddin Bey, Terry Davidson, and all my first cousins. We own that land down there. But our cousins are down there living on it. Cousin Frank down there, he building the houses on it as we speak. These are the things. So guess what? Then guess what? We used to have to deal with things like, man, you say things like, we say things like, man, ain't like it used to be. Guess what? It's not like it used to be because we don't want to embrace our past. We don't embrace our roots. Our roots in Tuskegee, Alabama. Our grandparents used to live to be 65, 70 years old because we don't go down there. Guess what? How many of us had grandfathers who used to eat whole onions, just take a bite out of onion? I know I did. I got a grandfather who used to do that. You're like, wow, he bit out an onion. Guess what? Onions has enzymes to keep your blood flowing. Good for your heart. They used to eat vegetables. Meat was not a daily operation for them. They eat beans. They eat vegetables, and this helps you. So when you go down south, you get a whole lot. How many of us had relatives that went down south and bought canned goods back and preserves back and jelly and things like that? They weren't eating Smuckers. They was eating aunties. My auntie Laura, she wasn't playing no games. She was dope. I met her. Uncle Willie. I got one aunt left from my grandmother's siblings. One of them. And because we used to go down there and we stayed in contact with our people, we brought that food up here. And it wasn't no McDonald's down there. It wasn't no Hardee's down there. It wasn't, you went to your aunt's house, your cousin's house, remember? And guess what? When they started migrating north for alleged better opportunities, were better. And then they gave you that spooky, they gave you that ugly story about our young brother Emmett Till, our ancestor Emmett Till. And that was partially, we took it as, they just trying to put us on. But nah, guess what we stopped doing? We stopped sending our children to the South. Because guess what? Hey, for those who are, my brothers and sisters live on the South Side, who from the South Side, the West Side was the place to go when you got here. And guess what? Just like my grandmother and my grandfather, her sisters and brothers came here and stayed with the Williams. The Liggins and the Duncans came and stayed with the Williams. And we all lived on Washburn. We all lived in this section of the city called Jewtown. And guess what? You go to my mother's side of the family. The Cottons was in Mississippi. The Whitmores were in Arkansas. They met here. And my grandfather, the Pollards, Arkansas as well. He moved over to Peoria. And we left that southern part of the country alone. And then we started thinking things got better because we up north. See, they ain't as racist up north, which is the greatest lie ever told in America. The greatest lie ever told in America. But we holding on to these lies. And we continue to divide ourselves. Because see, and then when Dr. King came in the mid-60s and he got that housing bill passed and the equal housing bill, and you can live where you want to live and stop all the redlining. My brothers and sisters, my elders from the south, from the west side, start migrating south because, hey, we're in a better neighborhood. Because again, we keep trying to get closer to that white because we think that white equals to God, and that white don't equal to God. That's just what your oppressor told you. And this is where the trap was laid. See, because we continue, look, we move up to Chicago, we go to the west side. And then we get better situations, we move to the south side. But we stop taking 57, stop taking 55, 55, 24, and then right into Mississippi, Alabama, 55, 57, right into Arkansas. We stopped doing that because we got better opportunities. Or some of us had too much pride to say, hey, we're struggling up here too. But guess what? The beauty was when you went to my grandmother used to be, Mother is her name for me. But her siblings called her Big Sul, short for sister. Because she was the oldest. We go in the Sul house. They get into an argument. They call Sul. See, we stop calling each other because I'm guilty of it. I get mad at one of my siblings. I stop talking to him. Jerk move, me. I ain't ashamed to say it. Jerk. You gonna stop talking to your only two sisters in the world. Clown, me. And these are the things that we fall victim to. Because see, I'm used to people in the chat. I don't like my cousin Warren. Because he made me mad. I ain't talking to him no more. But guess what? Big Sul, she didn't care who you was mad at. You gonna come to Big Sul house for Thanksgiving and Christmas. My Uncle Willie was there. Willie Bump, that's what they used to call him. He used to hang out with my grandfather. And my grandmother ran the joint. Go on down the block, quarter mile down the block, at the Hastings, 1655 West Hastings, where my mom and my grandmama lived. And my great-grandmama lived there. And we all, hey, if you ain't like somebody, you better keep your mouth closed. We stopped doing that. See, then I got part of my mother's family, the Pattersons. They moved to the south side. Oh, God, they moved to Gary first. Then they came back, Gary, Indiana. That's right next door, 30 miles away. Then they moved to the south side, 74th and Ada. Don't ask me how I remember this. Don't worry about it. But 74th and 8th, that's where the Pattersons were. And we used to go out to the south side, go to my Aunt Reed house. And it was a party that me and Richelle birthday. Every year on our birthday, she threw a party. Kids in the basement, grown people upstairs, smoking, drinking, and playing cards. We got away from that because I don't really deal with those West Side people, and I don't really deal with those South Side people. But guess what? As I stated at the very beginning, divide and conquer. Because guess what? Together, have you ever slapped somebody? Yeah, a slap kind of stings. It hurts a little. But a fist straight things out. We used to be a fist, black people. So now, instead of just slapping with the hand, we took 2 fingers away. Because guess what? We took 3 fingers away. We ain't going to Arkansas no more. We ain't going to Alabama no more. We ain't going to Mississippi. So now we got 2 fingers on this hand and the palm. And then some of us migrate to better situations, and now we only got a finger. Poking somebody in the forehead and punch somebody in the face, 2 totally different situations. And that's why we suffer. Chicago, y'all sitting around talking about Mayor Johnson. Mayor Johnson, is he in over his head? I think so. I really think so. But instead of saying what he's not doing, Mayor Johnson has not been in office 365 days. We don't know what he's capable of. He got 3 years to go. But let's just say our brother Brandon Johnson, Mayor Brandon Johnson here in Chicago, Illinois, is way above his head. If this is what most mayors are, Brandon Johnson is right here. He got 3 years to get right there, though. Let's say he stays right here. Who are we going to replace him with? See, we have the privilege of living in Chicago, Illinois, where most of the people look just like me. So we control who's the mayor, who's going to replace Brother Johnson. If he ain't doing a good job, you need to be talking to your alderman, your committeeman, your state representative, and we need to find out who's the best option. Because if he ain't going to get it done, who's going to replace him? That's why we need to be talking to each other. Yo, bro, I got friends. Mayo, Foster, Brian Cook, Shannon. I got tons of friends on the South Side. When y'all gonna get together and start talking about that? Mike, Lil Mike. Shout out to Lil Mike. Lonnie, I think Lonnie live on the South Side. I had a bunch of friends on the South Side. Rest in peace, my boy. He just passed away. His family is on the South Side. I ain't gonna go and get into all that. Shit. I got a lot of people out there, family and friends. When y'all gonna get together and talk about it? But see, here's the thing. While y'all talking on the South Side, we need to be talking on the West Side. Big Illinois, he live on the South Side. Keith, Boyd, Killer. When we gonna start? Instead of just smoking cigars, talk about gangs. When we gonna start talking about, man, Brandon Johnson ain't doing his job? Now they trying to pass a bill up. We got the highest sales tax in America, the highest property tax in America, and they're trying to raise it. March. Did y'all know that? See, these are the conversations we need to be having. But we're having these Harold's Chicken versus Uncle Remus wars. South Side versus West Side. Well, look, I heard Derrick Rose, he considers himself a dude with knowledge of self now. Shout out to young brother Derrick Rose. Nothing bad to say about you. But he said that dirty West Side. Bruh, stop. It reminds me, this young lady, I ain't gonna say her name, she may be watching. I don't want to offend her. We should work together. Washington Post Company. Me and my man Big Chris. Either he watching now, he'll watch later. She told me, hey, you from the West Side. Blah, blah, blah. You just was raised on the North Side. And I'm proud of it. You right. Excuse me, but you damn right. I'm from the West Side. I represent the North Side. That's why I'm from the North Side. I was raised on. I'm from the West Side. I was raised on the North Side. I'm a North Side. But I'm from the West Side. And she said, man, look at you. That dirty West Side. I said, slow down, sister. You from Inglewood. I said, everybody in here think you from the West Side. Next person walked past. I said, hey, where do you think she from? He said, the West Side, just like us, right? See what I'm saying? Why everybody is looking down on each other. While you looking down on somebody looking down on you or putting you in that same group. So instead of saying what Brandon Johnson isn't, why don't we start talking about what he is or what we need done? Black people, I'm going to need y'all, like my man Jungle Brother, he from North Carolina. I got another buddy from North Carolina. I got my girl, Poetic saying I think she's from North Carolina. I got people in Virginia. I got people in Virginia. I got my first cousin. I got a first cousin from my mama who live in Georgia. I got a second cousin who live in Georgia. I got a few cousins who live in Georgia. I got a first cousin who live in Florida. My family from Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama. I got friends in Texas, loved ones in Texas. first cousin in Texas. I got people in California. I got people in Arizona. I got people in Minnesota. I got people in Wisconsin and in Michigan. What we need to do is start talking about how we can communicate with each other and talk about how we can build things. Do y'all understand? Look, we always talk about things like HBCUs. People in Chicago, y'all recognize Chicago State University. A lot of us went to Chicago State University and graduated. A lot of people, master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, associate's degrees. It's functioning, one of the biggest universities in the city. Y'all know it only cost $64 million to do that. What if we start organizing? Because that's the key. See, we need to mobilize. And what a mobilize is what I'm trying to do right now. I have mobilized you guys to watch me. Then we organize. How do we organize? We come together and we can resurrect one of these dilapidated HBCUs that has been closed. And we can come together. We can create an organization that will fund a HBCU. Just imagine. Sounds like a pipe dream, but it's not. They cost $64 million a year annually to run Chicago State University. What if we created an organization? Much like Muslim Arts Incorporated, Dr. King did, Student Nonviolent Committee, created by the Southern Baptist Ministers Coalition by Dr. King and Ralph Abernathy and that crew, Black Panther Party, Self-Defense, Al Sharpton's organization, Jesse Jackson organization, Operation Push, all these things, right? What if we got together and put like $300 million in the pot and say we're gonna reinstitute, we're gonna redevelop a closed HBCU like Dr. Umar Johnson said he was gonna do? What if we put new life into that university at 64 SNCC? Yes, sir. What if we just put that money into an institution, then our kids will go there for 4 years for free? Because it costs $64 million, and we come together with 60 million people in this country, $64 million. We can do that about 3 years of free education. Our kids were there. That's what we need to be having these conversations about. See, we sit around and we condescend to each other and we separate ourselves further because I got a bachelor's degree. I do too. Overrated. I got a master's degree. I got a PhD. So what does that mean? You've been training, practicing, acting dumb. That's all it is, man. Preparing to hold yourself down. PhD. That's all it is. It's just letters. It just means you can be taught something. But you don't need a professor. You don't need a degree. You don't need those things to identify with your greatness. You just got to ask yourself, why don't we identify ourselves with these things? Why don't we identify who we are? And I'm not even going to take it back to hundreds of years ago. I'm just talking about two soul brothers. What is a brother, a sister, a family member? We are a diaspora of people. We have one, people on TV. We're not a monolith. One thing doesn't fit us all. A couple weeks ago, I did this thing called the 12 Jewels. Honest wisdom, understand. Do all of us want that? Mm-hmm. Freedom, justice, and equality. We all want that. Food, clothing, and shelter. We all want that. Love, peace, and happiness. We don't want that. Wow, we got a whole lot in common. We got 12 things in common at a minimum. All of us love our parents. All of us love our children. All of us want to feed our parents, feed our children, feed our friends and family. All of us. Wow, look at all these things that we have in common. But then you want to attach yourself to titles like liberal, Democrat, Republican, conservative, working class, white collar, all these things to separate us. But why are we not trying to pull together? Why are we not trying to do that? See, oh man, it'll never happen. See, when you use what you're doing is identifying with your oppressor more than you identify with your brothers and sisters. It's easy because if I said I'm having a pajama jammy jam, you have to fight people out of that place. Guess what that means? We all love good music. We all love good food. More things in common. See, we must stop separating ourselves and putting ourselves in these bad situations. What I'm going to do, as I told you, I'm not going to beat you across the head every week with information and oh man, and rah, rah, rah. I'm going to give you some health and wellness too. We are suffering, people. We are suffering at the will of the Democratic Party. We're suffering at the will of the Republican Party. We're suffering at the will of the independents. We are suffering at the will of the liberals. We're suffering at the will of the conservatives. Why don't we start buying into our situation? Because everything we do becomes popular. And when it becomes popular, we allow someone to step in and let me help you with that. But we don't really need any help because some of the greatest doctors in the world look like us. Some of the greatest attorneys in the world look like us. Some of the greatest entertainers in the world look like us. Some of the greatest educators in the world look like us. So why do we need anybody? Why do we always find the flaw in our thing? Jeremiah Wright, but see, he did this. Okay. Al Sharpton, but see, you can't trust him. Jesse Jackson, he got a side baby. I say John F. Kennedy, all you think of is somebody killed him, man. He was about to do something good. Never mind that him and his brother was sleeping with a movie star. Him and his brother. Why don't we identify everybody else's flaws? We don't have a problem jumping up and identifying our flaws. Do you need a representative or do you need a perfect person? Now, if you need a perfect person, we need you to go ahead, open up the Bible and say, hey, God, send Jesus back in it all. Because that's the perfect person. We need somebody who can get things done. How many people, hey, remember Jesse Jackson got those hostages freed? How many times Al Sharpton been in marches and fighting for rights? How many times Dr. King, he had a bunch of women. Okay, did he get things done? Yeah, okay, well, that's what we need to be focusing on. Because him having a lot of women, Malcolm X used to sell dope. Malcolm X used to rob people. Malcolm X probably killed somebody. I ain't saying I'm not putting it on. I'm just saying he said he did. In that book, he said, I did what I had to do to survive. So he could potentially have killed someone. I'm not saying he's a murderer. I'm just saying. So if you need a perfect person, I'm going to need you to come on over to go to Shore Foundation, 4104 West Roosevelt Road. Pastor Don, he'll be there waiting on you doing Bible study right after this. Then we can talk about a perfect person. But if you're looking for, like most of us, love the Lord, right? Well, guess what? The us that love the Lord, you know that Saul was killing people. Moses was a mother sucker. Noah was a drunk. See, you see how God using people for what he needs them for. He don't need them to be perfect. Stop us from needing people to be perfect. And while we not looking for perfect people, I'm going to need y'all to stop trying to buy into perfection, because perfection is a dream. Perfection is a dream. It is. It's not going to happen. But you can get as close to it as possible. But in the midst of this, I want us to be able to relax our minds and things of that nature, get ourselves in play. And once we get ourselves in play, then we'll be able to get in a better situation. Today, the health and wellness portion of this will be how the foods that will relax our mind. Because see, when we get stressed out, we eat. When we're having a good time, we eat. This is why I keep bringing up foods that'll relax you. They'll help you and relax you. These foods right here that I'm about to show you will help relax your mind. I'll be back shortly, and then you'll be able to see.
Although the impact of food on mental wellness may not be as apparent as it is on physical health, there is a significant link between what a person eats and how they feel. Of course, it's not realistic to expect someone in a depressive state to completely overhaul their eating habits. After all, when someone's struggling with depression, it can be hard to even get out of bed some days, let alone make healthy food choices. Similarly, eating these foods in the middle of an anxiety attack isn't going to provide instant relief. However, making minor dietary adjustments may help to alleviate your symptoms and improve your quality of life. Regardless of your dietary preferences, there are plenty of foods to choose from, each with various nutrients that can provide mood-boosting benefits. Here are some of the best ones to include in your diet. Number 1, walnuts. Nuts, in general, are packed with monounsaturated fats and protein. And although that means they provide excellent benefits, it's best to consume them in moderation because they're also high in calories. That said, Of all the nuts to choose from, walnuts are the best option for alleviating depression symptoms because they're rich in omega-3 fatty acids, especially for a plant-based food. They have been shown to support proper brain function. Number 2. Fermented foods. Researchers are finding that gut bacteria and the development of mental issues such as depression are complexly intertwined, and this is what's known as the gut-brain connection. The probiotics in fermented foods such as plain yogurt, kombucha, and sauerkraut restore and rebalance the gut microbiome, thereby supporting the production of mood-enhancing neurotransmitters. Number 3. Cherry tomatoes. Lycopene is an antioxidant found in the skin of tomatoes that fights depression and mood swings. Taking a stroll through the produce section of your grocery store could be overwhelming with the number of tomato varieties to choose from, but cherry tomatoes are the best option because they provide the highest skin-to-tomato ratio. They're also super portable and poppable, so they make a nutritious and convenient grab-and-go snack. Number 4. Leafy greens. Inflammation in the brain can lead to depression, but leafy greens include natural anti-inflammatories that can help prevent this. They are some of the most nutrient-dense foods available, packed with abundant amounts and varieties of vitamins and minerals, unrivaled by other foods. Turns out, having been forced to eat your veggies as a kid wasn't just a torture mechanism. They really are planty powerhouses that strengthen the body in many different ways, including mentally. Number 5. Apples. An apple a day keeps depression away, and anxiety too. Not only are they good for your overall well-being, this fruity favorite is an excellent source of soluble fiber that helps maintain blood sugar levels and stabilize mood as a result. Most people would agree that apples are more palatable than something like spinach. However, just like leafy greens, they too can be beneficial in fighting inflammation in the brain, thanks to the antioxidants that help hinder damage at the cellular level. Number 6. Beans. Beans are full of fiber, protein, and many other beneficial nutrients, such as B vitamins, and these vitamins help increase neurotransmitter levels, regulating mood. They're also a crucial part of the nerve signaling process that assists in communication between nerve cells. Number 7. Berries. Ever wonder what gives berries their colorful appearance? Anthocyanidins are the plant pigments behind the different red, purple, and blue hues, depending on pH levels. They inhibit the release of cortisol, more commonly known as the stress hormone, thus making you feel calmer. Berries are a well-known source of antioxidants, strengthening the immune system and fighting free radicals. And by boosting brain and cognitive functioning, they can also help when you're feeling down. Number 8. Oats. Oats are commonly known for their cholesterol-lowering abilities, but they have many other advantages. Since they have a low glycemic index, they deliver sustained energy to the bloodstream during digestion, stabilizing blood sugar levels and mood. And while oatmeal may not be as tasty as some other breakfast options, like sugary cereals or donuts, it won't cause a sugar high and subsequent crash. On top of that, they also contain selenium, another powerful mood-stabilizing nutrient. Number 9. Mushrooms. People either love or hate them. Before hating mushrooms, though, consider the 2 ways that they contribute to improved mental health. First, they help with blood sugar and insulin regulation, fostering more stable moods. Second, they act as prebiotics that encourage the production of beneficial gut bacteria, kicking you into happy high gear, since 80 to 90% of serotonin is produced by nerve cells in the gut. Number 10. Avocados. Avocados are high in fat, but they're healthy fats that impact mental wellness in several ways. They're packed with nutrients, and they're often included in many wholesome diets. One of their superpowers includes treating and preventing depression. Like walnuts, they're a great plant-based source of omega-3s, as well as oleic acid, both of which play a significant role in proper brain functioning. Number 11. Dark chocolate. It turns out that dark chocolate also contains probiotics, which are great for your gut and brain. It's also high in antioxidants that combat oxidative stress in the brain, and as a result, reduce mental stress. Furthermore, dark chocolate contains magnesium, which protects against inflammation, increases blood flow in the brain, improves cognitive function, and reduces anxiety. Number 12. Pumpkin seeds. Whether or not it's currently pumpkin season, you can buy the seeds themselves, roasted, toasted, or raw. They contain the amino acid tryptophan that promotes the production of serotonin in the brain. While you sometimes have to be careful of food-drug interactions, that's not the case with pumpkin seeds. If you're currently taking an antidepressant, these powerful little seeds may actually increase your medication's efficacy. While no food will miraculously cure depression, adopting a healthier diet rich in these foods can certainly help improve your overall mental well-being. Are you eating enough of these foods? Which one is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and remember to click on the notification bell. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.
All right. Smash strap on that. Thank you for tuning in. That was the health and wellness segment of the show. Basically, like I said, I can't keep beating you across the head with this. I mean, I'm preaching, because then it wouldn't be worth listening to. You get sick of me talking, and then it's a moot point at that point. You know, it's like, I don't want to hear that. But what I do want you to understand is I'm trying to make things better for our lives. At the end of the day, I want us to be better. You know, and I just really want us to stop falling into neurolinguistics. What is neurolinguistics? That's what I was about to do and right before I showed the video. Neurolinguistics is the practice of words having power. Words having power. He's stupid. He's dumb. Retarded. Nigga. I gotta stop. I'm horrible at that. I gotta stop saying that word. It's a myriad of things. Can't, won't, impossible. These words have power. We circulate these words through our community without reproach. We do nothing to combat these things. So when we immerse ourselves in things that we can't and what's not going to happen, and it'll never happen, and things of that nature, social media poisons us on a regular basis. So we're not just ingesting the poorest foods, we're ingesting the poorest information. I'm not saying jokes. I don't have to be a complete idiot to sit around and say, hey man, the jokes are not cool. You know, we need to cut these jokes out. No, fun is vital to a healthy mind, spirit, soul. Body and soul. We gotta laugh, man. Laughing is the key, man. Laughing is gonna put us in the best possible situation. But when we are attacking each other with intent, thank you. I don't know who that is that said you're preaching. I appreciate you tuning in. You doing it on the Facebook side. I don't know how that Facebook thing will not identify my people, but hey, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Whoever you are, put your name in if you want me to say your name. But for now, thank you for the support. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But that's the thing. Oh, that's Joseph and Joyce. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate it. And thank you for continuing to watch. See, these are the things we must get out of the habits of just ingesting. You know, we cracking jokes on social media. That's cool. But I want you to realize the poison that we're putting in our body. Me and Mo on the Chief Seats last night, we went on a tangent about our brother Shannon Sharp and Club Shay Shay. Am I telling people that we do not watch Club Shay Shay? No, I'm not. But I just want you to see just a little bit of poison the whole lake. It's like, you know, you've seen the episode of that thing, DJ Joe. Yep, I saw you, Joe. Thank you, Joe and Joyce. I love both of y'all. Much love to both of y'all. Good people. My brother Joe. Yes, indeed. Purplicious in the building. Thank you as well. I want you to understand just a little bit of poison dilutes the whole water. One bad apple spoils the barrel, right? Our brother Shay Shay, he was doing interviews for 2 years. And it was laughing and joking. You heard some pain. You see some people cry. You know, talk about the good times, the bad times, the mid times. It was a great situation. It was a positive thing that we was putting out into the universe. And Miss Unique is good to see. Good to see you, Miss Unique. It's been knowing Miss Unique since 6th grade. maybe even earlier than 6th grade. Maybe I don't know. We didn't have teen in our age when we met, so put like that. Maybe Ethan Allen or something. I don't know. But what I want you to understand is this: when we watched Club Shay Shay and we saw our brother Cat Williams open up and he expressed themselves and he talked about, oh man, these people have done me wrong and these gatekeepers, and he talked about all that stuff. I don't blame Shannon Sharpe for that. I'm not gonna say anything bad about Shannon Sharpe and that interaction because we didn't see that Cat Williams thing coming in. Boom! But when he brought our sister Monique on, we knew it was gonna be some boogeyman stuff. And then I had already had my eye on Shay Shay simply because Brother Shay Shay kept bringing up that Chris Rock slap. Will Smith had been in our face for almost 40 years, and he made one egregious situation. He had made an egregious decision that was less than pristine. I'm not even gonna say it was wrong. It was less than pristine. Because a lot of us out here, you mess with a woman, and they gonna put their hands on you. Some people like, well, he ain't reacting until he saw his woman react. Well, that's usually how it goes. That's usually how it goes. You mess with my woman, and I look over and she looking crazy, I got to put them things on you now, man. And that's just the way the world works. I know it's a bunch of perfect men out here. See, she ain't no good, but she's his no good woman. See, get out his personal life and let's go with the public. You piss my old lady off in public, and I got to hurt you. And because guess what? Why she ain't no good to you, that's who I chose to be with forever. When they was broken up and he should shut up. This lets me know, tell you what, let somebody piss your mama off and you go and you look over and you see your mama with her mouth twisted up, you busting them in the mouth. But I'm not here to judge or anything of that nature. I'm just here to say, our brother Club Shay Shay, he started an avalanche, man. It started off a snowball with Cat Williams. It rolled into a big boulder, and now it's the size of a bus. You got Donnell Rollins and Corey Holcomb arguing with each other. You got Corey Holcomb and all these people. You know, hey, you know what, Joe? It ain't nothing wrong with moving away, but let me address what my brother Joe said. Joe said, I left Chicago because of the gangs and drug use. What can I say? I lived in the hood. Well, what we can do, Joe, is this. As a dude who's younger than you, Brother Joe, people like myself, and I know Jungle Brother ain't never lived in Chicago, people like myself, Jungle Brother, and others, you should have been able to come to us and create a safe haven for yourself. That's what we should have been able to do. We should have come together as men and protected your community. See, that's what we have to do. See, if we stop doing this west side, south side, east side, north side thing, and we start doing our side, we'll get things put in a better situation. It's good to be, no one wants to live in a dangerous situation. You want your children, like I used to. I could play from the 1600 block on, I could play from the 1600 block on Hastings from Ashland all the way to the 2000 block or even the 2400 block on Western, because everybody in between, from Hastings to Roosevelt, from Roosevelt to 15th Street, from Ashland to Western, they knew my mama, they knew my grandmama, they knew both of my grandmothers, they knew both of my parents, and I was safe. So you're right, Joe. If you gotta go, you gotta go. But what I want the Joes and the Joyces to move back. I want the Jungle Brothers and the Anthonys to move back. You thought I was gonna see that, Anthony? Yeah, I saw that, Anthony. Welcome to the show, Anthony. But I want us to move back into the communities. That's right. That's right. We want to be in a community again. And even if we don't live in a community, I want it to look like this. Imagine this, people. Just close your eyes and imagine a sheet of paper with a bunch of dots on it. And that's what we are as a community. We got dots in Chicago, dots in here. We got dots on the west side, dots on the south side, dots on the north side, dot, 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 dot. But if we connect, it becomes a spider web. And then we can walk along those webs and be safe. We can walk along those webs and be safe. So, but back to the Club Shay Shay thing. The Club Shay Shay thing is not a bad thing because he's giving people the freedom he's introducing them to other Black people. A lot of us didn't know Desi Banks. All of us knew Usher. All of us knew Cat. All of us knew Monique. And he's going to have other people from our community, and we're just building a bond. It's a web that he's helping create that web. But if you're going to bring people in there with toxic personalities, I'm going to need our brother Shannon Sharp to pre-record and edit out some of that vitriol. And when you edit out some of that vitriol, we can create a unified front for our community. This is what we have to do. This is what we need to do. This is what we're supposed to do. Sometimes you got to protect me from myself. Joe, you older than me. So you know what, Joe? You got to protect me from me. I got to protect H-Rap from H-Rap, because H-Rap don't know what he's talking about. H-Rap don't realize. Yeah, I'm preparing y'all for a preview. It's 2 previews. Preparing y'all for that. And you got to protect H-Rap from H-Rap. You got to protect H-Rap. Got to protect Jungle Brothers in North Carolina. Then we got to protect Poetic Sins in North Carolina. We got to protect Big Mo in South Carolina. Then we got to protect Chief Rocker in Atlanta. We got to protect Mook, Purplicious, and Knox or Anthony in Jersey. And we got to protect Keisha and Ben and others in Texas, and my cousin Terry. And we got to protect Chris and Frank and so forth and so on. My cousin Nene, she lives in Texas. I got family all over this country. We got to reunite. We got to reconnect. See, a lot of us get caught up in this I ain't gonna vote thing. I raise my hand. I used to be one of those people. Man, that vote thing ain't nothing, but it is something. It allows us to not be controlled. It allows us to keep these people at bay while we continue to create that web, and then we can have self-sufficient things. What I want you to understand is, and I'm going to show this preview of this movie, there's 2 things to this movie. I want us to realize this. If we reconnect as a community, let's just imagine this, and then I'm going to show the preview, then I'm out. We could reconnect as a community. It's 50 million people in this community. If y'all could get 100,000 people to subscribe to my network, 100,000 people to subscribe to my network. If you start selling t-shirts, if 1/2 or 1% of us, which is about 10,000 people, if they buy that t-shirt from you because you on H-Rap channel and I came on H-Rap channel and got this t-shirt sold for H-Rap, and then if 10,000 people bought it for $25, guess what? That's $250,000. Last time I checked, everybody who ever gonna watch this, $250,000 will do them some real good. $250,000. That's what we have to start thinking. Like, I saw this old gentleman today, and he said, "Man, we did all that fighting to get these lunch counter dinners, and it was the worst meal I ever ate in my life. But if you'd have stayed at Atlas, you stayed at MacArthur's, you stayed at Crystal's out there in the west suburbs, leg shaking dinners on Chicago Avenue. I'm doing free promotion. They ain't giving me nothing. Out south, I forgot the name of that fish joint on 159th. Doc's. You know what I mean? If we start shopping at George Wilburn's wife on 39th and Persian. I mean, 39th is Persian. Persian and Wabash. It's Italian joint owned by a sister. We start shopping with each other. Guess what? We start creating jobs for each other. We start creating jobs for each other. We won't need anybody else. I just need us to stop separating ourselves. We're not a color. We're not a direction. And we're definitely not these cities that we don't own. What we are, soul brothers, soul sisters. What we are, as Sister Sledge said, we are family. We are a family. And if we are a family, what we need to do is conduct ourselves as a family. Are you going to do you get along with your brother and your sister all the time? Your nieces, nephews, cousins, neighbors? No. But if you do it properly, we can still function as a family. The movie I'm going to show you today is called The Surrounding. I want y'all to check it out. It's on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. It's on Netflix, wherever it is. It's the movie that we're going to review next Monday, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the forecast. Come in. You can check me out on there. I want y'all to realize this is what we're doing. We black media, black people, black men and women trying to make things work in order for us. Yeah, I did say we won't call each other black, but even I need work. With that being said, check out The Surrounding, and I'll be back tomorrow. I got a special guest, my man Jungle Brother. He's the only one I've seen. He's gonna give us a draft preview. He's the only black man doing it, the only brother doing it. Support Jungle Brother on his Jungle Brother. Look it up on YouTube. You come here. Me and Jungle gonna be on tomorrow. We talk a little sports. We'll talk a little football preview. We're gonna have a good time. And then I got this brother named Yusuf coming on Thursday. We're gonna talk about his life. Keep supporting me. I'm H-Rap B. This is Build and Destroy, and I will see y'all next week.
We were free, but we had no place to be free. Lord, help me reach my piece of the promised land. Protect me on this journey.
We're orders.
Join us. We're all equals here.
Nobody make sudden move.
Get on down.
Hurry up.
Drop the rifle!
I got him.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get the sheriff and bring him here. You stand guard.
This beanpole guard him? Like Tommy Walsh.
Here we are. You and me. Coyote and the horse. You know, those white folk ain't coming back.
Just because they don't want to look at you don't mean I can't see.
You'll always be a slave to the white man.
What'd you call me?
Said you'll always be a slave.
Have you been on this side? Keep your mouth shut. They'd rather hang me for the color of my skin than to hang you for what you did. You ain't never gonna hang white boy.
I had to learn as a black woman living in this damn white world that I gotta work 3 times as hard to get 1/5 of what I deserve. After the war, I made a promise that I'll fight for those that can't fight for themselves.
It looks like we believe in the same thing.
And after that,
Just go about it different ways.
let's go about it together.
I didn't get a piece of my promised land. Didn't get the rivers flowing with milk and honey.
You have to take what you deserve.
You know, there's money buried out here.
I think you best unchain me now.
Follow you or die.
Baby girl, you in dangerous water.
You can be a hero. The glory of it. Tommy Walsh and the colored girl.
What's my name? Small Washington.
God damn. That's not a headline you heard before.